Let's have a discussion. Let's get our men in here, our young men in here, our sisters in here. Feel free to raise your hand and touch upon this topic today. I know it's the number one slavery day on earth. Damn Monday. Esau probably got a whip to a lot of y'all backs right now, man. Plantation vibes. Well, this is why you come through, get your kosher breakfast, and thrive. And don't y'all forget that the Lord's Passover is coming up. We're gonna do a short room on Deuteronomy 16 and 16 right after this one. Let me throw that link up there right now. Kwam Yasharala. Y'all ping people to the room. Y'all share the room. I'm about to share the room right now. Do black men play too much games? Do they take relationships just for games? We gotta talk about it, y'all. We're gonna be starting this room in a few minutes. Y'all share the room. Let's get some shares up. Share, share, share. Look like the room chat is disabled. Let me put that thing on. Y'all talk to me. There you go. Kosher breakfast. Shalom Yashala. God, ping the room, share the room. We about to start in a few minutes. I bet you they still sleeping over at that Shalom and Chill.
John, let me go back and wake him up. I'll be.
Yeah, Yashala had a busy day yesterday too. Dragged myself out of bed today. I know how it go in the Mondays. Hey, Shalom, Chief Eth in the building.
Shalom, shalom to our Kwa, Kumya Shalom.
Kwam Yasharala.
Yeah, Shalom, Chief.
Y'all ping people to the room. Ping, ping, ping. This isn't a long topic today, but it's an important one, right? Because marriage, relationship, right? That's the important things when it comes to our nation. That's one of the major tools Esau uses to break us down as a nation by destroying the family structure. Never forget about that. Our culture is very family orientated, even when you're talking about the Passover. Matter of fact, let me bring this out right quick. Go to Exodus 12, right? Even when it comes to the Passover, it's very family oriented. A man's supposed to take a lamb per house to all the families in Israel. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse. Let's see what verse I want. Let's see. Slakia Israel. Look, check this out. This is verse 6. Start here. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. So this was a household thing, right? When he was coming up out of Egypt, every man took a lamb for his house. And every man that was the head of his house did this. They was performing the Passover, right? Of course, this became a holy convocation where we gathered together as a nation and had a big celebration, like we see in the first page of the Apocrypha. But, the original Passover, right, was every man per house had to perform the duties of a man and the responsibility of a man and perform the Lord's Passover. So a man being in the house, a man being the head of the house, that family structure, that's very important. Very important when it comes to the Most High God. This is why, this topic today is very important and we got to talk about it. And, we always know the solution is the Torah. Let's see if we can ping a few people in the world. Ping your homeboy that's a scammer. And, every other day he's buying Eve something. He's buying a woman something just to sleep with her. Or ping your homeboy that, what I'm saying, he think he's some type of player. He's trying to jump from woman to woman with no responsibility. Ping your homeboy that, He played ball on the weekends, and he be using his athleticism to attract women and just use them for what they good for, and then dip off on them. So we gotta talk about this subject, y'all. Ping people to the room. We about to start real soon. Matter of fact, you could definitely get it rocking right now. This is your kosher breakfast. How the skillet, come and get it. Sponsored by the Holy Spirit. You know when you hear it, and the heathen fears it. Because every morning, brothers bring them swords out. Let you know what the law about. And turn the clubhouse into the Lord's house. We're gonna bring it out. If you haven't already, click on the top of the screen, that little green house. Make sure you following this platform. The other platforms attached. HOI to the Chariots Fly, the Man Up Show, God First Gang, etc., etc., etc. Because we're building a major platform where the word of the Lord is coming out 24/7, 365. Pushing positive vibes to your 12 tribes. Pushing the gospel through your Wi-Fi to your Howard Shah crack the sky. All praises to the Most High. And once again, this is your kosher breakfast. And today's topic is so-called black men, or so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, and Israelite men want to be pimps and players. Hashtag black relationships. Kwame Asherala. So this is what it is, people. A lot of our people, they live a lifestyle perpetuated that they see on TV. Hey, Shalom, Elder Torah.
Shalom.
Elder Torah with the bubble garment on, man.
God.
God, all praises, right? And shout out to the Taziyah, man. You having them brothers look like they just jumped off the chariot.
God.
Yeah, back to the subject matter though. A lot of our people live a lifestyle where it's like, Jake wanna have all the women in the world but none of the responsibility. He wanna run off. He wanna sow his seed and never turn back. This is all slave mentality, right? That's what they used to do to the big bucks in the plantation. Just had them breed and never see their children again. You know what I'm saying? Just had them breed and breed and breed so they could sell their children off to the next plantation, or put them somewhere on the back of the cotton field. Jake didn't even know like how much seed he was sowing, man. So all this is perpetuated from captivity and the curses of Deuteronomy. But this is something that we gotta break, man. As a people, and as a culture, that pimp player lifestyle, that degrading your own women, using your own women, destroying your own women, just perpetuating a culture of lust, that freaknik spirit, that I just always gotta hit the strip club spirit, that I'm a go to the strip club and spend 10, 20,000 like Floyd Mayweather, when that could have been used to uplift some youth around my way. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that we got to talk about, man, as a people. Like, do y'all brothers even have an understanding. Because, we get on the black woman a lot about how much money she spend in the damn nail salons and damn hair salons. Like $1 billion, man. The hair industry is $1 billion industry off of our women being insecure about their natural hair, right? And also, being cursed by the Most High. Some of them get cursed with baldness. But still, a lot of our women are just insecure about their natural hair. They want to look like the other nations. We get on our women when it comes to that. But we gotta start getting on our men too. Our men, they spend millions and billions of dollars in the strip club being whoremongers, man. The reason why the whole OnlyFans thing is a big market right now is because lustful men on the internet giving women 1,000 likes on the gram. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 likes for a twerk video, right? 1,000 likes for a naked picture. So a lot of our men, we gotta get out of this whoremonger mentality and start being men of the Lord again.
Salakia.
Yeah,
Yeah, you even have Israelites in the truth. They'll like all the sister stuff, but they won't like your stuff. You see them on all the sisters commenting, liking, hearts every damn where. So it ain't just people in the world. We see y'all fringes too.
right. And y'all sisters in the truth got to be careful. There's a lot of whoremongers that come in the truth, all because they hear they can have multiple wives. Right? There's a man out here that's teaching that the laws are done away with. Right? He running with that doctrine, a Christianite, but he still got multiple wives. How comes that laws are done away with? You know what I'm saying? So we gotta watch out for that too. Whoremongers that come in the truth and just want to pollute the waters. So definitely that's something to look out for, man. We gotta make sure we stay on point as a people. Because Yahweh said marriage is honorable above all. Right? So we have to honor these marriages. Right? So and us with the realization that sex is marriage, yeah. We got to get rid of that player lifestyle, man, and that mentality. We can't be playing around with marriage. We can't be playing around with the daughters of Zion. And if you want to do that, just understand in the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shah's going to be playing around with your damn skull. And with that, I somebody else want to touch upon the topic. I see brother King David raised his hand. See if I get him on stage.
Yeah, con. Kamel, you know what? Give me Deuteronomy 17 and 15.
Con.
It's funny because, like the pimp and player thing is really a destructive lifestyle, like you say. You know what I mean? But in, in all, the history shows you that Israel like jewelry, Israel like different garments. They tell you that in Ezekiel 16. Israel likes to be the, huh? Somebody said something?
Shalom.
Yeah,
Shalom.
Yeshaya.
Israel likes to be the man, so to speak. You know what I mean? And it's funny, like when you read the scriptures and it talks about the king. See, a lot of people missing. I just had somebody come to this scripture and misinterpret this, talking about multitude wives. You can't have multitude wives. This is not really what this is saying. You know what I mean? It's not really have to do anything about multitude wives. This is about a king that abuses his power, so to speak. Okay, and really, that's like how the pimps and players want to be the man, want the center of the attention, want everything. It's basically like similarities. It's almost like the same thing. Read that out. Read the 15th verse. Start at the 15th.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Thou shalt anywise set a king over thee. Come on, read it again.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee,
Come on.
whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Who the Lord thy God hath chosen a king among us. Read.
One from among thy brethren
So you
shalt thou
supposed to,
set.
right. So if you set a king over you, it's supposed to be one from among your brethren. So you supposed to you ain't supposed to set one of another nation. Read on. That's why we don't vote. We don't set nobody that's not of our nation over us. If we was gonna, but we know now Yahweh Shai is the true king. Okay, but even when they said Saul, Israel choose the king, which the Lord said, yeah, I want a king. All right, John, I'm gonna give you a king. You know what I mean? But that goes into the history of Saul and then King David, and now we know that Yahweh Shai is the true king. Read on.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee,
So you can't set a king of another nation over thee. Somebody of another nation. Read on.
which is not thy brother,
Which is not thy people. Read on, huh?
but he shall not multiply horses to himself.
So now he should not multitude. So what is horses representing? Horses was a vehicle, a way of transportation back then. So what is horses today? Actually a car. Horses is a car, a way of transportation. Read that again.
The horse turned into the Porsche.
Right, read that exactly. Read that again.
But he shall not multiply horses to himself.
You should not multiply cars, meaning what? That don't mean you can't have a car, but you shouldn't abuse it. When you check out a lot of these pastors, if you want to really talk about a pimp, that's why they say poverty pimps. These pastors is poverty pimps too, pimping the people. So that pimp lifestyle goes into a lot of ways. But what does it do? You should not multiply cars to you. So now the pimp has what? He has the Rolls Royce, or back then he had the Cadillac. The pimp was famous for the Cadillac. You see what I'm saying? Read on.
Nor cause the people to return to Egypt.
Why? Because when you doing this and when you're abusing them, setting up cars, setting up jewels, it's going to talk about jewelry, overdoing it. You're causing the people to what? Stay in poverty. Egypt is bondage. Egypt is another word which means bondage, poverty. Read on.
To the end that he should multiply horses,
Come on.
for as much as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way.
Come on.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself.
Neither should you multiply wives to yourself. So that's not talking about you can't have wives. That's talking about abusing the situation. See, this is, and it's talking about a king that abused his power. He's just multiplying wives. He's just multiplying horses. He's multiplying all these stuff. Read on.
That his heart turn not away.
Read on.
Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
Neither shall he multiply to himself silver and gold. So now, what comes with a pimp lifestyle? This is why I'm saying you could throw the preachers, because they always talk about that poverty pimps. You could throw the preachers into this using this word. So really, when you check it out, a pimp and a player lifestyle is somebody that wants to be the man, wants to be the individual. He gathers all the gold. He gathers the cars. You know what I mean? Sometimes he has to make coats. He's the man. He's the one that wants to get the attention. You see what I'm saying? He's multiplying everything to himself, and he's abusing the people. This is what this pimp lifestyle brings. This pimp and player lifestyle is overdoing things because we know that Israel loves. You know what I mean? We know that Israel loves the clothing, and Israel loves the jewelry, and Israel loves even the women in a certain extent. You know what I mean? But when you abuse it, when you take advantage of it, when you use it, that's when you're off. And this is what a pimp and a player lifestyle brings. It's abusing things. It's overdoing things. You see what I'm saying? It's oppressing people. It's why we say that the churches and these preachers are poverty pimps, causing the people to return back to Egypt, causing the people not to have nothing. Using your money, multiplying jewelry, because a lot of preachers do that. A lot of preachers got the pinky ring on. You see what I'm saying? The pinky diamond ring. Back in the day, they used to have the slick hairstyle. They got the gator shoes. So now you look at the pimps out in the streets, he got the gator shoes. In fact, Bishop Don Juan, what did Bishop Don Juan become? A preacher. You see what I'm saying? You see how close and related the preacher is to the pimp, the pimp lifestyle. So you know what I mean. That pimp and player lifestyle comes in a lot of ways. In fact, I think it was Outkast back in the day. They did a video, and who did they have in there? Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar was in the video. So the pimp and the player lifestyle goes back to a lot, but it's really somebody that's abusing their position. You see what I'm saying? That's why Deuteronomy 17 is talking about. It's not talking about you can't have multiple wives. It's talking about a king that abuses that, man. So this pimp and player lifestyle goes into a lot of ways and a lot of different things. You know what I mean? And definitely these preachers are poverty pimps. With that, I yield the floor.
Elder Tarad. The other pimps be like, church, church.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Hey, you know what? A lot of preachers are former pimps, man. A lot of preachers are former pimps when you check it out. They came from that lifestyle. And you know what? A pimp is also slick with the tongue. So he goes into the church with his slick tongue, and you know what I mean, and he's doing the same thing. He's getting the women. He's multiplying the women on the side. You know, it's this pimp and player lifestyle is real funny. It goes into a lot of different directions.
Salakia. Also, it does say multiply wives. There's a difference between multiplying and adding. You know, if you add if you add to your foundation, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you just continue to multiply, it becomes like the spirit of gluttony. So you can be gluttony, have a gluttonous spirit, a gluttonous appetite of lust for whether it be food, women, money, cars, clothes. You know, like they say, cars, clothes, and hoes. So yeah, that's just a little separation in wording as well. Now yeah.
Yeah, and clothes, cars, jewelry. Says jewelry, silver, and gold. You know what I mean? Overdoing things. Overdoing things. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having jewelry. You know what I mean? We like jewelry, you know, but overdoing it, you know.
Yeah, that reminds me of remember that old movie back in the '70s with Car Wash, Richard Pryor, Daddy Rich, pull up in that big Lincoln and have the Pointer Sisters, you know, pimping people for their money. But man, it's always been that cycle. I mean, that show they had was the Preachers of L.A., DJ Catton, and all those different pastors. It's the lifestyle they have. You can, you know, have their own way of pimping a congregation.
Con and that was the evolving or the metamorphosis of our generations, because in the 70s, that's what they pushed on our people, that pimp life. Then the 80s came with a little bebop. You know what I'm saying? More bebop. Got introduced to the crack era. Then that was that hustler mentality from the 80s to the 90s. Everybody was the hustlers. Then they became the thugs, and now they just homo thugs. It's crazy how it evolved from all these different types of entities of spirits from every 10 years. That's what it evolved from, because they pushed that pimp lifestyle on our people when they had Superfly and all of those out in the 70s. All of
God,
the different movies. So that's part of that programming, that witchcraft of programming that Esau is a master of, and that's what they keep evolving our people with in wickedness.
come on, and what do a pimp have? Hookers and prostitutes. And it's kind of back to that now, because like the brother mentioned, OnlyFans and, what I mean, Backpage and all of that, that's having the women prostitute themselves. But they're like, and they have pimps, and some didn't have pimps, which they call renegade prostitutes. But, yeah, that lifestyle is real destructive, brother, because it goes into making our women whores. Scriptures say, "Thou shalt not make the daughters of Zion." You know what I mean? Whores, man. So it's destructive in so many ways. But like Ephraim said, through the movies, because Superfly and the Mac, brothers had in the 70s the Mac. You know what I mean? And then when you check out 50 Cent, he went back to that with the videos, because he had a video. We had all them pimps in there, and he was still trying to promote that lifestyle, man. So that lifestyle been promoted in our community. With that, I yield.
I mean, when I was in the world, before I came into truth, I'm divorced now from my ex-wife. We were in Christianity, real deep, and it. We just go to the church, and pastor would, ask for, I mean, they pretty much had a ledger on who was paying tithes, and they'll get up there he get up on the pulpit and get the preaching and talking about how they need love offerings and love tithes and stuff like that. And I'm looking at my bank account, and my ex-wife giving him $500, $600 a month, when I'm the only one working. And I'm like, all the women was giving him, large amounts of cash and income. And we go to their house for like a Christmas break. He and his wife, neither one of them have 9 to 5 jobs. They just stay in the pulpit all day. But yet they got a 5,000 square foot house. He driving a Mercedes. She driving a BMW 600. And I'm like, hell, I'm working my ass off every day to provide for my family, and hell, they living better than we living, and I'm working. And my ex-wife just didn't see it. Constantly got to pay these tithes. So at the point that where I had to just cut off the bank account to where I can only touch the money. I'm not going to be giving this pimp pal child money, and I call her that, then she'll get upset. So, but she's, yeah, still hooked in that church over there.
Salakia, and it was a testimony on TD Jakes. One of the members, she said how she was giving offering, and she didn't even know how she was going to touch the bus home after church. She was like, one of the sermons, TD Jakes was like, give your last, you know what I'm saying, and the Lord will provide for you. Just trust in him. And she said she trusted. She gave her last $400 or $500, like the brother said, and she didn't even know how she was getting home. And I think she lived about an hour away, and she didn't even have enough money to even get on the bus after church.
Yeah, man, we had a brother come in. He lost his wife. She died, and he had custody of his 3 kids. This was when I was in church when I was over in Dallas. I went to Potter House for a while, but I went to another one called Abak. And the brother went and asked the pastor, yeah, hey man, any way I can get, I think he needed like $300 to pay some utilities or something like that. And the brother been a member at that church for years, faithfully giving his tithe money. And the pastor told him, Man, don't no man come ask another man for no money. And just, I mean, that was cold, you know. So, you know, me and other brothers, you know, we chipped in and gave him a little money, helped take care of his family, you know. But it's
I done
like
been so real low too.
man, that's,
Anybody else want to add to the topic?
Don't ask why the pastor's house is so big. Don't ask why the pastor's driving the BMW. Don't ask. No questions.
but it's always been like that. I mean, and like one of the brothers said, it's like it was just pushing out into our community, and we just become desensitized to it. It's almost like it was a norm growing up in Christian church. 'Cause I remember my mom used to go to this one church, and the pastor, he used to be a pimp. I didn't know he was a pimp until my daddy told me, but that's he used to be a pimp back in the day. And man, he get up on that pulpit, and you know, I remember he put his pinky to his ear and get to preaching, and I mean, and it's crazy because it was like a spirit just took over the women in there, man, and they on the floors and the floor flopping like fish and crying, and at the end of it, they giving up all their money. You know, and I used to look at my mom, like, Mom, why are you giving this man all this money? But you know, my dad was always in the truth, so I guess he wasn't as strong in the truth as we are now. Because I asked him a few last year, because I noticed he never did Christmases or any of the pagan holidays, and he was like, you know, he said we Israel. He said the only reason, you know, I kept my mouth closed to try to keep the tension out of the house, you know, but he knew what was going on in them churches, you know. But I told him I wish he would have pushed that on us, you know, at a younger, pushed this truth on us on a younger age, since he knew the truth. But I guess he was saying he was just trying to keep, you know, keep peace in the house for us. But you know, said if he had all do over again, he would have done it differently.
Salakia. Yeah, Isaiah 30 and 9. We start from there. You know, it says that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord. They don't want to hear the law of the Lord. That's why they buck up. So somebody got hella feedback. Ogashaw, please. You know, so they don't want to hear the law. They want to hear what they want to hear. That's why we get, you know, that bucking up against us when we teaching them in the streets. We telling them that they're the greatest people ever created on God's green earth. We're telling them that God loves them and only them, and they have a problem with that. You know, every nation, they create their own ideologies to prove that God loves only them, that their God only loves them. You know, from Islam to the real white uh supremacist Christianity. You know, but our people, it is what it is. This is what they want to hear. So they say, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. You see, and you go into the world, you know, Eve will tell you, right, in the world, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. And then a lot of times Jake don't want to tell them the truth because they know their emotions and they know how they're gonna react. So a lot of men won't say, well, yeah, I got me another woman. Yeah, and that shit boils into the truth. It happens a lot where brothers is not keeping honest and being honest with these women, because they feel that their woman can't take it. You see, you got to tell these women what it is from the rip, and not only them, the same thing with the men. You got to be able to tell the truth. You're not supposed to. Now, there's a time and a season for all things, but you shouldn't be stifling the truth to make someone feel comfortable. You understand? And you got to keep your speech seasoned with salt. But that's a problem in our community because we love to hear lies. We love to hear things that make us feel good, just like the Christian church. They don't want to hear what the Bible says. They want to hear what the preacher says because that's what makes them feel good. The lies, the deceit, that spirit of deceit, man. So you should be able to tell a woman the truth. You shouldn't be lying. You shouldn't be because that's a beta male, man. That's a beta spirit. You sitting there ducking and hiding. Niggas talk this player pimp stuff, but you really ducking and hiding. A lot of Jake talk that. Unless you really pimping on these streets, a lot of these so-called players and well, we call them whoremongers, as the scripture would call them. These players, they scared of the woman. Cause you ducking and hiding and lying and cheating. You're not keeping it honest with the woman. And a lot of these women, they know they got that intuition and know that a man is not being honest or not being honest with them about having another woman, but they just accept it because of what he's telling them. So it's just all around the board, man. It's just we are stuck in a damn spell. Our people are stuck in a spell. We rather hear lying words than the raw truth from in the world to out of the world. And it's a damn shame, man. You should respect the man that say, listen, man, I'm gonna lay the groundwork right now and let you know, yes, I got a wife. Yes, I plan. Well, I don't plan, but who knows what the Lord brings. And if another woman comes into my life, hey, I might take her in. That's just the way the spirit goes. But however the spirit lead me. You see what I'm saying? So when you're honest like that, a woman really can't say or do nothing about it. But a lot of you brothers, y'all have problems in your households because you lied from the beginning. You was giving her smooth words. You was telling her what she wanted to hear. So that falls on you. You fell on your own sword. And then you wonder why you don't have peace in your house. Because you're not speaking the truth, man. You lying. You know what I'm saying? Brothers are cool, all 1,000 scriptures, but you lying to your woman. How does that sound and look? And then when your woman finds out that you've been lying, she don't that respect, it kind of like dwindles away, man. She don't look at you the same because you claim to be this damn alpha male while you on the streets teaching. You claim to be this roaring lion on the streets and around the brothers, but here you go lying around your woman. You can't be straight up and say, listen, woman, if who knows if I feel like I'm gonna get me another woman, hey, that's the Lord's willing. But I'm gonna let you know that's what it is. You ducking and hiding. You got your downloads on your phone. You know what I'm saying? You got your little porn sites. Cause that's what a lot of these cats do too. You know what I'm saying? You over there, you got a woman in the house, but you jerk it off in the bathroom. It is what it is, man. Excuse my language. So stop with all the lies and deception, man. Tell the people the truth, whether it's woman or man. You understand? And you have a lot less problems in your home and around you. Now you.
Shalom, family. I just want to make
Shalom,
a
shalom. Anybody else want
my
to?
mhm.
Yeah, 1 second, sis. Anybody else want to add?
Manat
Yeah.
Shalom, shalom. Peace to all of the elders and the mighty men on stage and the men in the audience. I just wanted to add to another layer to what Elder Terah brought out on how many different dynamics there is to this particular sickness and illness that's in our community. Another one is sometimes that pimp is right there in your own home. I'm sure, I don't know if everybody's heard of this, but I'm sure brothers who are a little older have heard this saying with that some of our sisters' grandmother or mother would say to them, Don't come home with a wet. Uh, don't come home with a wet. I don't want to. I don't want to be too crass and drastic, because there's sisters in the room. But don't come
A
home with
wet, a wet kitty
vagina.
cat in a dry
Yeah,
purse.
and a dry purse. So sometimes that pimp is right there in the home. Uh, teaching these things of going out and selling that body and making whores out of the door. So like out of the daughters of Zion. So I just wanted to add that little wrinkle into the conversation. Shalom.
God, Shalom, Priest Daniela. You want to add to it, Priest Daniela?
Priest Daniel in the building. Shalom, Zakwan.
Hey, Shalom Kings. Like every time I start talking to work, I go in the Matrix. So I'll be scared to unmute. Let's see how long it's gonna last. I don't know. Shalom to everybody. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This, yeah. I've only been hearing like a little bit of what was said. Because I'm working, but absolutely, I think Ella Torah gave a. There I go in the Matrix. I'm in Matrix, right?
Yeah, you going in. You slowly going
Yeah,
in.
a little bit, but we can still hear you.
Yeah. So I think Ella Torah did a great job breaking that scripture down about horse, etc. Um, that's one of the scriptures that people like to use to say that brother can't have, life, etc. Um, yeah, so unfortunately, the player lifestyle, the parent style has been marketed to our people since the '70s. And at any time I go in the Matrix, y'all let me know because my joint is red. Pimp and player lifestyle has been marketed to our people since the '70s, since those black exploitation films, and all the way till today. You turn on uh, TV and you look at music videos and everything like that. I mean, what are dudes talking about other than pimping and playing? Selling drugs, pimping, and playing. What else is these records about? Right? Especially the ones that get played on the radio. That's what a lot of the movies that we make are about. Like it's just a whole marketing scheme behind that, as though that's the only way for our people. Either that or playing basketball or football is the only way to get out the hood. So it's been marketed to us, and it's off as hell. And we have a great job to do, man. We're up against a very, very large task to teach this word because, like Chief Ephraim was saying, people don't want to hear this word. You know, I think um, the way that we present the word is so important because we have to give people, something that when they come into this truth, they don't feel like that you have to be a bum to be in this truth. Like you can still be fly. You can still have some quote unquote, I hate the word, but you can still have some swag, with you and all that stuff like that. Our sisters can still come in the truth and be beautiful and all these things like that. Like, you don't have to give any of that stuff up to serve the Most High, right? So I'll just leave it there right now because I don't even know how much of this y'all are hearing. But yeah, I'll leave it there for right now. When I go outside, maybe in a little while, I'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah, you was going a little into the Matrix. I know. I hate that red thing that comes up too. You know what I mean? But yeah, we heard you. We heard it. We heard like basically everything. Mm. Hey, Paul. I think the sister Lynette, she wanted to say something.
Yeah, Khan. No, that's next.
Todd, yeah, I just wanted to add, just coming from, a female's perspective and everything you're saying is 100 spot on. And, what hurt me the worst when, you find out, now I'm in the truth. And before I didn't realize certain things. And I was so angry about it because the sister called me at my job, and telling me, what I didn't know. But the biggest thing was when my kids, my son, I have two sons, and when they were like, you know, they found out, and the just on their face, they couldn't believe it. They're just like, "What is happening?" And then they wanted to, they had to, they confronted their dad. They had to speak to their father about it and stuff, and get his perspective on it and everything. And so that's when I knew I had to step back and accept, this is what it is, and that, we didn't have that communication line to be able to understand what was really happening. And we've been married for 26 years, so we've been together for a long time. Both of us, almost half of our life. So it's just something that if you don't have this word and something to lean on, and to be able to understand, and that spirit, and if you get that mercy and grace, then you go crazy. But that was the biggest thing, was um my son, coming to terms, with what was happening, and what transpired, because I mean, it was times when he was supposed to do stuff for them, and I found out he giving her money, and it's like, what? We're broke. You paying her rent, but you expect me to do this? Okay, so I went through all those emotions. So I just, I understand, everything that's being said, and I yield.
That goes back to men, being upfront, honest, and leaning upon the scriptures. You know what I'm saying, and being on one accord with their women. And when it comes to this world, right? A lot of our men they get trained to be boys forever. Like Esau used to call a black man a boy, or a so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American man a boy, right? He could be in his 40s, 50s, 60s. Esau come through, slave master, the oppressor come through and call him a boy. That baby boy mentality, right? Even when you look at the movie Baby Boy, Jody wasn't really a man. He was just going around getting different women pregnant, riding his bike in the hood, taking his woman's car from her, you know what I'm saying, and just living that whole, baby boy player lifestyle, never really being a man, right? So, you have to realize a lot of our men, they live like boys, and they don't really live like men. They don't have masculine tendencies. They don't have no backbone, no real structure. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a whole lot of playing games, a bunch of lying, a bunch of deceit that's going on in the household. A brother pointed this out, and I'm gonna repeat it, man. Like around, I would say close to 70%, but more than half of our men grew up in single mother households. And then when they enter the educational system, right? They they uh they see teachers. Around 75% of the teachers are females. You probably have a math teacher or a science teacher, but most likely a physical ed teacher that's a male. That's about it. You know, if you're lucky, you'll probably have a male principal. But a lot of so-called black men, they hardly see. How you doing? Right? They hardly see themselves or men that look like them in authority. So a lot of the times they be scared to be real with their wife or the woman in their life because they see that woman as an authority figure, as if she is the head of the household. So a lot of our men need to, stop being boys and man up and take on the responsibility of a man, and also the characteristics of a man. A lot of our men do not have the characteristics of men nowadays. And it doesn't make it easy because you do have men like the Christian pastor, like the pimping player that would just, flash money and jewelry and cars and fill our women with lies. But that was a trait of the slave master, man. The slave master used to live a lie. The slave master used to act like, he's this. upright standing person with the white picket fence in the house and the wife. But look what the slave master did. He told you that we should practice monogamy, and he put it all over his movies and all over his Disney cartoons that a lot of women look up to, especially our women look up to them Disney cartoons, and that illusion of one man, one wife household. But look what our slave master did. He perpetuated that image to y'all, but in reality, he went out of his house and raped women. He actually brought women into his house and raped them too. Right? Them house slaves was getting raped by the slave master. He was never monogamous. And then he also used to rape the men too. So here's the person that try to give you the culture of monogamy, and give you the culture of quote unquote uh man, wife, children, house with the picket fence. But he's the biggest fornicator, pervert, and rapist there is. So a lot of our people need to get out of that mind frame of that kind of lifestyle being normal. But that's what the truth brings to you. The truth brings to you only lifestyle that should be normal to you is the lifestyle of the scriptures. Because a lot of our men, they're afraid to be men, and they're afraid to live an honest and earnest lifestyle, because it seems to them easier just to tell their women lies, their people lies, and continue to be that player, that boy player that the slave master made them. And with that, I yield.
Come.
No, it's just a hustler mentality. You know what I mean? As Alifa was alluding to, the hustler, all of that can be tied up to the pimp because you're hustling women, you're hustling people. You know, it's just a hustling, fast paced lifestyle. It's just pushed on our people. But yeah, you're right. The slave master, you know, he never was with one. You know, what I mean, that's why actually, when you check out in slavery, a lot of our women got beat. You know what I mean? They got burned and all type of stuff just out of jealousy because they found out that the slave master was messing with them too and raping them. And then the white woman would get mad and angry and do all type of stuff to the slave woman based on her husband doing what he had to do. You know, I mean, they used to call it, it's an old saying, I don't want to offend any women or anything, but this is true. This is history, so it shouldn't offend you. You know what I mean? This is what happened. They used to call our women cum buckets, man. That's the name they had for our women in slavery, you know, and it's crazy, you know, but yeah, you're right. That destructive lifestyle was pushed on our people from all angles, even when they was on the ship, which is crazy when you think about it. It was getting raped on the ship and stuff. You know what I mean? And that was a abominable condition. You know what I mean? A lot of our people when they was on that ship, they wasn't taking no showers. They was just on the ship, just naked and just in abominable condition. And the slave masters, the Spaniards, and all these. You gotta remember, these guys was the low lives of Europe, which they all low lives, but these was the prison guys that came out of prison. They let go and came on the ships and all that. They was raping the women, man. And I mean, they was raping the women in that condition, spraying them down with hoses and raping them, man. So that destructive lifestyle goes way back, and that's why I tell a lot of our people you don't want to talk about slavery. And that was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but the brutal effect is what you see today. You know what I mean? Remember, the slaves was pushed also to breed a lot of women. They had slaves purposely going around to breed a lot of women. That movie Uncle Tom Cabin, man, when we was in One West, I mean, we sat down and watched that movie, man, and that movie showed you, man, a lot of stuff. It goes in depth about slavery and how they had certain men that was just used to impregnate women. You know what I mean? And just push that whole destructive lifestyle on us where a man was just used as a sex object, had no feelings for the women, or just used to sex her and to breed her, you know? So that destructive lifestyle goes way back.
Con, con, and like I said, that type of lifestyle, you know, and that kind of lifestyle and contradiction of the scriptures, it goes back to our oppressor. That's why we can't be falling under it. And the brother Manatazak, he brought out a good point too, how our women did contribute to that by saying things like don't come back in here with a wet kitty cat and a dry purse, and also pushing you better use what you got to get what you want type of mentality. Because when that is the rhetoric in a young woman's mind, she falls victim to a lot of the pimps and players. Because the pimps and players, they like, I've been around a lot of pimps. If you know anything about Brooklyn, East New York, and Pennsylvania Ave, you know what I'm saying? I've been around a lot of pimps, and all of them got the same. Well, not exactly the same, but to attract a woman, they use the same things. They use dressing fly, rocking jewelry, a good car, or I'm just saying, smooth words. That jewelry, flash your money, car spirit. That kind of spirit gets implemented into a woman's mind state from her mother. Her mother tells her she needs that type of man, a man that's getting money, right? And a lot of our women, to be honest, need to start teaching their daughters that they need to have a man that they father approve of, or they need to have a man that they older brother, or you know what I'm saying, a mother male figure in their family approve of, a dude that's a God fearing brother that go by thus saith the Lord. Teach their daughters the ways of the Torah. You know what I'm saying, the ways of Yahushua, so that could be a filtration system when a woman is, expecting a husband or trying to get with the man that's gonna be a good guide and shelter for her. You know, a good companion for her, a good leader for her. But a lot of our women get taught that, yeah, you go use what you got to get what you want, and make sure you don't come back in here with no broke nigga. So all of them are going after the same dude who dresses cute, flashes money and jewelry, and that fits right into the player pimp lifestyle that a lot of our brothers get into, and they never grow out of. To me, that lifestyle is very childish. Um, Matter of fact, let me get that scripture right quick. When Paul said, I put away the childish things."
The scripture.
That's 1 Corinthians 13:11. King, let me get that.
This is the book of First Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understand as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
He said, "But when I became a man, right? When I became a man, I put away the childish things, man." To think that you could just go and use the daughters of Zion, right? As quote unquote cum buckets, and using them for your pleasure and not take no responsibility. is having the thought process of a child, the understanding of a child, right? You're not taking into consideration her emotional state and mental state while you playing these mind games with her. Is you thinking and moving like a child. You thinking that you could just sneak around and play these games and get what you want, and to hell with the consequences, is thinking like a child, is moving like a child, is having the understanding of a child, right? But when you grow in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you put away the childish things. You got to put away these childish things, right? Using a bunch of flashy clothes and money to make your worth as a man is childish. A man's worth is really in his mental stability, to be a guide and a rock, right? To a woman is what makes him a real man. To be a proper leader and lead by example is what makes somebody a real man. Determination, endurance, and discipline, and keeping your composure is what makes you a real man. These are manly aspects, right? Being aggressive in times to protect and guard makes you a man, right? Not being aggressive because the woman ain't give you enough money, or she ain't give you the quaba quick. That doesn't make you a man. So that pimp lifestyle, that player lifestyle is very childish. And when you get old, man, you're supposed to put away these childish things. And I land my chariot.
Khan King, I really appreciate you. I'm gonna drop back down to the audience, but Khan.
Con Salakia. Um, Real quick, Proverbs 12 and 19. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. So, you know, the pimp game, the pimp game is probably still thriving, and in different places as making money. But like they call them renegades. A lot of these OnlyFans and all of those are renegades, because those are now is all you need is access to the internet, and you can sell whatever the hell you want. So now is a whole different ball game. So now it's like it's less pimps and more prostitutes. You know, but the
Right.
but the pimp game is so crazy because all they do is gas your head up, gas the prostitute head up to making them believe something like, oh, baby, me and you gonna rule the world. We're gonna take over everything. This is me and you. You know what I'm saying? The world can't stop us. That's the type of talk and energy they give. But then when the prostitute get caught and she's locked up, now she's crying to the pimp giving her a little attitude. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. I gotta get this money. I gotta come see you when I got it. You see, so a lot of that happens in the pimp game. There's a lot of lies and deception. You understand? You're filling their head with helium, just to keep them moving and operating and working and loyal. Because there's always opposition to pimps, and those are different pimps, and they come with more game, bigger cars, and more money and more jewelry. So it's always deceptive and lies. So it's just for a moment. That's why the pimp game ain't the way it used to be, because it was temporary. Just like the drug game, everything that comes with Satan's kingdom is temporary. The only thing that will be forever is the Most High Yahweh's kingdom, and reign by Yahushua. You understand? So that word of truth shall be established forever, but lies is for a moment. So it may feel good and look good and sound good in the beginning, but always remember that it's seasonal. It's not forever. So you doing it or you involved in something, because you don't know what these Israelites coming into this truth is dealing with still. I came into this truth and I was still selling drugs when I came back into this truth for about a year. I didn't go up there and teach until I stopped selling drugs. You understand? So you don't know what a brother or sister is dealing with. But if you are doing it, if you're a part of this lifestyle, this destructive lifestyle that's just going to lead you into the hellfire and to that death, that second death, keep in mind that the Most High's angels is watching. Stop lying, stop being deceptive, and get your act together. Because the doors of repentance is closing, and it's getting too late in the game to be out here dealing with this type of folly. You understand? So keep that in mind, Israel. All right? Now you.
Come.
Shalom, Miss Parker. How y'all doing?
Shalom.
Yeah. Yeah, just wanted to add my little wrinkle, to the conversation. I think the large part, in essence, has to do with our neighborhoods in terms of many of our people live in environments where we surrounded by things and people, in essence, that's hostile towards the Torah. We live in environments where the way of life, to some degree, in essence, that is baked into those environments are hostile towards the Most High's laws. To the point, even our interaction between us and these environments, our kids, playing with other kids that come from families, in essence, that's not necessarily operating within our culture, to the point to where our kids can unconsciously be taken in the way the world moves, thinks, and speaks. You see, as a result of the environments that many of our people are in, even the school system. These kids are sexually active in middle school, to the point to where, the same for us and many of us, how we came up in the environments and the neighborhoods that we came from. The school system, in large part, taught us to play the whore before the Most High, to the point to where our character even can be evidence of our playing the whore before our power and how we move, think, and speak. You see, when we talk about the kind of influence the environment that we come in can have on us because of rather than living in set apart communities, you see, unto our power founded upon our teachings to cultivate and protect our people's minds in environments that are committed to the justice, the equity, and the dignity that the Torah teaches us to uphold, and our loyalty to the Most High as our power's children. And I yield with this 2 Corinthians 6, verse 13 through 18. Now for a recompense, the same, I speak to you as unto my children. Be ye enlarged, but be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion has light with darkness? And what concord has Yahushua Hamashiach with Balaal? Or what part has that he that believes have with an infidel? What agreement has the temple of Elohim with idols? For ye are the temple of the living Elohim. As Elohim has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, says Yahuwah. Touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and I will be a father to you, and you shall be my sons and my daughters, says Yahuwah Tavuot. And I yield.
Okay, con, yeah. A lot of our youngins, man, they get brought into perversion. I'm gonna say that a lot of our youngins get brought into perversion at a very, very young age. I know when I was growing up, man, my brother was blasting rap music, Snoop Doggy Dogg, that Doggy Style damn album was off as hell, man. and then the artwork that came with it. When it had the Snoop Dogg as a dog and the Daughters of Zion as female dogs, and it was dressed in scandalously. It's like everything was perversion. The words in the music was perversion. You know what I'm saying? Lil Kim's lyrics were perversion. Even when you go into the R&B, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that was perversion. You know, a lot of it was about love too, but it got into a perversion and it got even worse, right? To the point where now you got Chris Brown singing "These hoes ain't loyal." You know, it's the perversion of the music, of the culture, and they feeding it to our children at a very young age. And like you said, as before, we even get to embrace the Torah. So this is why the laws of God, it tells you you're supposed to teach these laws unto your children diligently. Because if you don't teach them, they're gonna learn it somewhere else. Actually, this past weekend, brothers went to rebuke the Rainbow Crosswalk in Atlanta, and a father, a so-called black man, and a father was there with his children. And he tried to like tell me to be easy with saying sodomites is going to hell because he feel like his children is too young to hear that. And I'm like, brother, like, don't you understand that on the Muppet Baby show, a show for like 2 year olds, 3 year olds, the Muppet Baby show, they got Gonzo cross dressing. And you saying that my message is too young, is too grown for children? No, they need to hear this. They need to hear that God doesn't like homosexuals. They need to hear that children should not be having sex. They need to know that certain things are for adults. They should know that certain things are for boys and certain things are for girls, right? Because in this stage, in this era, is being pushed upon them by the enemy. And the enemy does not care how old they are. The enemy is going to have them singing WAP. The enemy is going to have your 5 year old daughter singing about WAP when Cardi B doesn't do that. Cardi B runs and turns off the radio when WAP comes on whenever her daughter is around. Just keep that in mind, y'all.
Man, peace, love, and light to the room. Peace, love, and light to the room. Praises, man. That's it's imperative that we know, like, that this is a death culture that we living in. Like, it's really a death culture, and this whole society just hangs on one scripture. It brings one scripture to mind, Leviticus 19:29. It says, where it says, "Don't prostitute your daughters." That's the landfall to wickedness. And I live in Memphis, and pimping is still going on here right now to this day. Like, you can ride down Lamar and you can see these young sisters like dressed like prostitutes walking the street, waiting on like either a truck driver to pick them up, and things of that sort. And without without the Torah being implemented, a lot of these things happen. And it's purpose for us to be able to see the opposite, for us to be able to teach the opposite. So when you said what you said about sodomites going to hell, what other alternative do they have to see that? What's the opposite? What's the opposite? Because they constantly being pushed this narrative, and there's no alternative. So us as brothers in this truth, in this faith, we gotta push the alternative, and we gotta push we gotta push a whole new, not a new narrative, but a different narrative to get them to think like, man, hey, this is pure folly, this is pure wickedness, this is against the Creator, this is against the Most High's Torah, this is against the law, and if you keep moving in this function in this operation, you will go to hell, you will die in your sin. And there's no safe place for anyone who dies in their sin. There's no safe place afterwards. So by me witnessing it, I was watching this documentary, like this young lady on it was like a Skid Row documentary where the people on Skid Row speak on their testimony, how they he ended up on Skid Row. Skid Row is like the place in California where all of the homeless and the drug addicts go, right? And this young sister was saying like she was molested and she started letting people feel on her at a young age for money and things of this sort. So prostitution, not only is prostitution wicked, those who indulge in paying for it, making the purchase, right, is the ones who really make the business. Those who buy it, not those who buying and sell. So, like, seeing it hands on, like I'm seeing it. Like I could go down the street right now and actually see these operations take place. It just lets me know how much more real the Father is and how much more connected to His Word we need to be and how much more we need to push and promote His Torah, man. So I just wanted to give my 1 cent in on that.
Come on, like Shaul Paul said, the young priest said earlier, man, like growing up in New York, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? In East New York, that's a famous spot that everybody know about the White Castle. A lot of people know about that, you know what I mean? But in the Bronx, everybody know about Hunts Point. You know, I was on specials about that. And that's been there for years, and that's a famous, whore spot where prostitutes frequent in that area. They recently they shut it down last couple of years because they got white people moving in, but that was just for years known. And you just you being around that type of environment and being around there, you see people, man, and you see women and you see how destructive that lifestyle is to them because they grow older and then how they look after years and years of being in that type of lifestyle is just detrimental, so it destroys you. Everybody see the person young, flashy, but you don't see after being in that lifestyle years how damaging it is. And a lot of times our people end up on drugs because that's how they cope with what they're doing. Because spiritually they know it's wrong, but they do it. That comes with that lifestyle, a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, to numb the pain of what they're doing, But both sides a lot of times the pimp, because he knows in the spirit what he's doing is wicked, but he's accepting it. The prostitute, she knows selling her body ain't right. But the drugs kind of numb that. The drugs kind of numb that and make them can adapt to that lifestyle if you want to, so to speak. So, but after years and years of being in that lifestyle, you see the damaging effect. You know what I mean? They look, they age so much because they're in the streets on a daily basis, and even the pimp, as far as dealing with different women. You know, you have gorilla pimps. He may be beating this woman, and the woman, he got to check her, and it's just a destructive lifestyle. Any way you look at it, there's no way around it.
Con.
Con. Yeah, I mean the BX was a lot worse than Brooklyn when it came to that, man. I knew it was a wrap for the BX when I first what I'm saying, took that 2 train and walked a few blocks and I seen Ho Ave. I'm like, damn, they got an avenue called Hoe. I'm like, yo, this place is finished. Like, and I was thinking that in the world, like, damn, like, why would you even want to live on a block called Ho Ave? That's like, the mentality of our people was crazy on that block too that I went across. I'm like, damn, man. Like, the hood, like, even when I was in the world, I was like, yo, the hood is a big setup. And the mentalities that we get from the hood is all destructive and toxic when it comes to our people. Especially when you're living in the street. You know what I'm saying? And you're in the streets a lot, and you picking up habits from people you see in the streets. But us that grew up in that generation, we see the effects, and this is why we definitely got to be warning the people and getting blood off of our hands because I just threw up the clip of Cardi B, right? When that WAP song is on, you can see her playing it and rapping it, but then her daughter runs into the room and she quickly turns that thing off. Like she don't want her daughter to know she make music like that type of thing. I mean, she's still dressing scandalous around her daughter, but then like she know that the vibration that comes with that song and the words and the mentality and the spells it cast on our women are very demonic and very whorish and very lustful. So she turns that music off when her daughter runs into the room. You know what I'm saying? And
God,
and we know the lasting effects of that lifestyle because look at Little Kim. Little Kim was beautiful when she first came out. Now she's finished. Like she's destroyed. All them
yeah,
surgery, all that money she spent to look good, and all that came to naught because she's disgusting now. She's destroyed.
yeah, yeah. Foxy, a little too. Just that whole lifestyle, like you said, that's promoted through the music. I mean, and Cardi B came from a stripper lifestyle. You know what I mean? And that's promoted through the music. That whole lifestyle just destroy you, man. When you just using your body to get what you want, like you said, But Little Kim, you want to talk about the pimp, and they pushed that. Biggie was a pimp, really. Because he told Little Kim not to justify her, but he told her you got to show your breasts, and you got to do this to get to get your music popping, talk sexually. You know what I mean? Then she went into getting like the porn. She was actually promoting porn through her music. That's why she had Vanessa Del Rio and all these old um, porno stars in her music. So it's just crazy, man. That pimp and player lifestyle is. And then when you look at Outkast, because like the brothers from Memphis was talking about, when you look at Outkast, they kind of was promoting that pimp player type of thing too. It's just been in our community for it's just been in our community for so long, that type of lifestyle. But Jake liked the jewelry. Jake liked the garments. That's Ezekiel 16. We had that, and the Most High took all of that away from us, but we had it in righteousness. You know what I mean? We had it in righteousness. We wasn't whoring our women, but then if we would have stayed righteous, we would have kept it. We turned wicked. That's why the Most High said they're going to take all of that away from us. All of that. And now we're still fighting to get that. And the only way we know how to get that back is by wickedness. We don't trust that the Most High will put us back to that state if we stay in a righteous zone.
God.
Because that's what it is at the end of the day. Wealth. You know, you want wealth. You want to have jewelry. You want to have cars. You want to have, well, you know what I mean? But you want to do it in righteously. Most High says, seek the kingdom of heaven. All things else should be added to you. So you want to do it righteously. You know what I mean? You don't want to whore out your women to do that. You don't want to prostitute your women to do that. Scriptures say, thou should not make a whore out of the daughters of Zion. You don't want to manipulate your people to do that. You know what I mean? But are we the kings of the earth? You damn right we are. Do we deserve the best? You damn right we do. Do we deserve the gold and the silver? You damn right we do. We had all of this in righteousness. But first we got to return back to the Lord, and He will add all of these things to us. We can't manipulate our people for these things. We got to serve our Lord. Serve our Lord, and He'll add these things for us. You know what I mean? This is what we got to do. It all starts with going to the kingdom of heaven, seeking the kingdom of heaven, and we get back our glorious thing, because that's what a pimp is looking for. He's looking for glory, but he's doing abusive things and wickedness, because in his spirit he knows he's supposed to have these things in righteousness. He knows he's supposed to have that. You know what I mean? He knows he's supposed to have the gold, the silver, whatever, the vehicles. You know what I mean? Back then it was a horse, but you know what I mean, a car or whatever, whatever. He knows he's supposed to have the women, but it's supposed to be done all under the guidance of the Most High and Yahweh Shai. And we're in captivity now. We're in captivity now. So it is what it is. Shalom. Snoop Dogg in the house.
Constantly. And then when you did have some brothers that did try to, make honest women out of these quote unquote um sisters that was, selling their body or on the pole, you would call them, Captain Saber hoes. That's what they would call them when they was trying to make honest women.
So we got Brother Faisal. What's going on? Want to touch up on the topic?
What?
Answer the question to the room. What? You want to answer the question to the room and touch up on the topic?
Oh, yes.
So, what's your thoughts on the subject matter, brother? I don't know. I think this brother got that wake and bake spirit right now. Faisal, did you hit the split this morning?
Me?
You Faisal, ain't you?
Hey, what's up, brother? Come on, you want to say something, or we just move you down, man? You ain't saying nothing, brother. You ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, I just kicked him out the room. He could go. Dawa
Long
Da,
time
Shalom.
101.
Yeah, that blunt talk, right? Dawa Da, what's up, King?
Shalom, brother. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahshabrakatah.
Yeah, Bashim Yashabrakata.
How about you, Mr. Barakatah? What's up, Ak? You want to add to the topic?
I mean, she should feel ashamed. But then again, I mean, as bad as that girl does things, I think that was probably a good thing for her to, move her daughter from out that situation so she don't hear that stuff. Me personally, though, I try paying no mind to none of them rappers or singers because all of that is just wickedness.
Yeah, you know, wickedness is promoted because it seems to be the cool thing to do. You know, it's funny because we were building this dog kennel, and I live on the Old Testament Israelite community, and one of the brothers that knew me from late '90s, he was telling the brother that was helping me put the dog kennel up. He was like, it's just funny. He said, Chief used to be the man, but now he's boring. He talking about chicken coops and dog kennels and compost. Like, he said that. He sounded like he was joking, but at the same time, there was a little, not a lot, little. There's a lot of truth in it. So for you to sit there and say that I'm boring now, because I don't live the same lifestyle, and that's coming from a Old Testament brother. That's just the way the world looks at things. They look at righteousness as the boring or the corny thing to do. It's just the way this world is. Even you go take it a little further. In school as children, when you start hitting the teens, people start mocking. People start mocking. Like the brothers. Young Jake. They mock each other on. Yo, you still a virgin, son. You ain't getting no skins. You ain't getting no skins. You not like me. Da 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 da. And then a lot of times it be them same kids that's talking like that. That they be the virgins themselves. And they be trying to throw that, just so they can sound cool because they heard somebody else. So a lot of times, man, righteousness is frowned upon. Don't lose your righteousness and your integrity for just to be cool, man. In the eyes of wicked people, man. That's just it is what it is. It's like it's crazy when you think, oh, yo, son, you ain't pimping, this pimping. Oh, you ain't no player. You ain't no real player. What this what the dude said in How High? He said, yo, you an assistant pimp. Your daddy was an assistant pimp. His daddy was an assistant pimp. You came from a whole line of assistant pimps. You wasn't a real pimp. So Jake loves to man. Jake loves their ignorance. They love to live in this madness. When you talk righteousness, yo, you talking that Bible talk. Here you go. Here you go again. Ruining the party, ruining the flow of things. That's the way our people look at it when you speak truth, man. Truth of righteousness. They don't want to hear it. So through the spirit, man, don't lose your integrity and don't try to fit in when you stand out, man. You already stand out, Israel. You got a light shining in darkness. And that's what we gotta teach. We gotta teach this and implement it amongst our children. Continue to install that in your children. Tell your children, don't be afraid to be a nerd, man. Be a geek. There's nothing wrong with that. We need more nerds and geeks in the nation. We need more computer savvy children in the nation. We need them to be learning and trying to be not a rapper. That's like that. And no offense, because I've sold shirts too, but no offense to anybody that sells T-shirts in the nation, but we don't need another T-shirt in Israel. We really don't. My rib came with the idea of pushing flashcards to the children because we see the development of my son. So we want to try to help parents to push their children in that vibe of knowing the Hebrew, knowing the letters, knowing the numbers. Like we see the void of where we can help our nation. Like we don't need another freaking T-shirt in Israel. We don't need another rapper. We don't need another studio. There's nothing wrong with music, man. Do your music, but we don't need more of y'all. Please, we don't. We don't need more wickedness. And I'm not comparing that to wickedness. We don't need more pimps. We don't need more players. We don't need no more basketball players. We don't need no more football players. We don't need no more athletes. You understand? So just keep that in mind, man. Don't be afraid to think outside of the box of wickedness. Hopefully that resonates in some of y'all spirits, man. Implement that to your children. Tell them that. Explain that to them. Continue to push that onto them. Don't be afraid to not fit in with that little crew of wickedness on the corner, with that little crew of wickedness on the stoop, that little crew of wickedness in the hallways.
I kind of do that every day at work. I'm the only brother that wears fringes there. Nobody else believes.
Right. Right. Yeah. But just keep that in mind, Israel. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no more T-shirts and rappers in Israel. Straight up. Yeah.
Con.
So like, yeah, we got the sister on stage. Hey, shalom, sister.
Shalom, shalom, everyone. Shalom. Um,
Shalom.
regarding the topic with Cardi B, um, at the end of the day, yeah, the part in out there to the fact that she doesn't want her daughter to actually see what she does. But as parents, I mean, I've got like adults now, but as parents, we have also got a responsibility to our children in what our children listen to and what they watch on television. Okay? The media is not there for the interest of our children. We have got to take control in what our children listen to. And also, we you also have to sort of probably pay attention to how was Cardi B raised herself. What type of home is she also coming from? But I feel that, there's a time comes in one's life when one is awake into this truth. And all that cycle of sin, it can be broken through the Most High. But the media is not there to promote any righteousness in our people, you know. And it's such a shame that our people sort of let their children sort of listen to some of these things. But then you, it's not easy to escape, I must say, because even children, they may not watch television, but when they go to nursery as well, you have no idea exactly what they're doing in nursery. I'll give you an example. My daughter was working at a nursery part time while she was studying, and there were a few black children at the nursery. It was predominantly Eden, but we do have our people that put their kids in nursery. And what my daughter observed, they always put the black boys in dresses, and she used to argue about it, and have serious confrontation with the white girls, and they just thought it was funny. But they never put the white kids in dresses, just the black boys. So it's not just in music, it's all around us, and we honestly need to pay attention to who we leave our children with to take care of what they watch on television and so forth. But I believe our people are coming to the realization that, they need to take control of their children. And that's basically all I have to say. I yield my mic. Oh, please put me back to the audience. Thank you.
Hey, Colin, sister. Thank for your testimony, your information that you brought to us. Definitely, that's another reason why boys are players and pimps and not real men, because of their feminization of the so-called black man. And like you said, it's in all aspects, from TV to school to whatever. Madonna adopted a black boy just to turn him into a girl. Charlize Theron did it too. So we know the agenda of our enemy for real. Thank you for your testimony, sister.
The chief was talking about earlier. You know what I mean? It's just talking about a balance. You know what I mean? We know that a rapper or whatever, they gonna do their music, and you can't really tell you can't convince no rapper that his joint ain't really up to par, because in his mind he's gonna say you hating on him. So we know that they gonna come in and do their music. I mean, it is what it is. You ain't gonna be able to really stop that. But Chief is talking about a balance, man. Like, everybody wants to be, you know, into the music. You know what I mean? Because that's another way of getting that glorious style. You know what I mean? You use your music. The scriptures tell us, man, that we had singers and stuff to the Most High. The Most High say, bring the singers. You know what I mean? Bring the instrument players. You know what I mean? Bring them. to the forefront, but they were supposed to what? Focus on the Most High, man. It ain't about you trying to get a glorious lifestyle. And a lot of times that's what people do with the music. That's why you get everybody wanting to rap. Everybody want to be that because they want that glorious lifestyle. That's a way to get the attention. And you shouldn't do it for that. Do it because you want to teach people through your music. You know what I mean? And that's the reason. So that's why Chief is saying, man, that everybody is gonna try to do that, man. And you need a balance in the nation. You know, everybody's trying to do one thing. It ain't good. But we know, like I said, you can't convince somebody that they can't rap. Like in their mind, you know, and we got good rappers, you know what I mean? We got good rappers. We HOI, we got a lot of rappers. We got, you know, the Young Priest, Shower Paul, you know what I mean, flipping the reggae and the rap. You know what I mean? We got other brothers in HOI, New York, New Jersey. We got all brothers. We got a whole list of rappers. We got the Sister Kataka. We got all type of, you know, beautiful people that's making good music. But everybody shouldn't focus on that. But but like I said, that's a whole nother topic, Shower Paul, because you ain't gonna stop nobody.
Yeah, and if you got brothers and sisters in the truth that is pursuing making music, you know what I'm saying, and they honestly trying to do it for the Most High, yeah, support them. But then also be a good brother and sister and tell them if they trash. You know what I'm saying? I hope if I put out bad music, brothers will tell me. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if you're doing it earnestly for the Most High, you definitely want to do it good and you know, be a professional at it. But I agree with Ephraim, man. I don't think we don't need any more rappers, man. Even when I was on the block hustling, man, brothers put on a beat, it'll be a 20-man cipher. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a
Uh,
damn 20-man cipher. Everybody rap. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York. Everybody rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I
playing
think
basketball.
brother, when I came in this truth, I used to rap when I was younger too. But all I wanted to do was just read. I just wanted to read for my speakers, brother.
Con,
And
con.
crazy job, Papa. See, and that word hating took away where you can't tell nobody nothing. Because it's always considered hating. Always considered hating. Like the older brothers be trying to tell the younger brothers, yo, that rap, that mumble rap and that drill music, man, I just promoting gangs and that music is garbage in a lot of aspects. No, them older niggas just hating on we younger niggas. Like you can't. People ain't even going when you tell them and you constructively criticize them. They're always gonna say it's hate, man. Always.
Con. I mean, yeah, you right about that though. I came across some younger brothers and they hit me with some mumble raps. I'm like, bro, I even understand three things that you said. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like you were just humming on a beat. And they, you know, they felt like I was just too old to judge their music. So like you said, like a lot of people don't know how to take constructive criticism nowadays. But still, like I said again, I agree with Amoff. You know, I even got a music performance coming up, and I still agree with Amoff. Like, you know, we need more carpenters in Israel. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm a novice right now, but I'm studying carpentry. You know what I'm saying? We need more masons and bricklayers and plumbers and electricians and you know that's
Mechanic?
yeah mechanics and you know physical therapists and our sisters, man. We need more. We need more midwives. We need more midwives and doulas. We need more brothers that could bury Israelites. We need more brothers that could circumcise Israelites. You know, so we gotta get into you know tapping into those offices because you know us as a people we're naturally talented musically. We're naturally
Yeah.
talented when it comes to basketball. You know what I'm saying? Those
God,
things.
so like, yeah, you right, but you know, and we know David did it, brother, but that's gonna be you know, that right there going here goes the circumcised man. You right, we need it, but it's gonna be something that you know a lot of brothers gonna be like, wait, hold on, man. But David did circumcise. It is part of our nation. David circumcised the Philistines. You see what I'm saying? So it is.
200 of them, right?
God,
And Joshua too. Joshua, when he led the army of Israel to the land, he had to circumcise the children because their parents ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? They say he took sharp knives, huh?
we had a brother back in the days in One West, and brothers was like, "Yo, brother, you wildin'," but it's in the scripture, like, "Yo, brother, you wildin'." I'm not doing that, but it was in the scriptures, huh?
Cause there's scriptures, right? Brothers gotta get on their circumcision, huh? Especially with things happening and babies gonna be continue being born in Israel. You ain't gonna stop the babies. So, you know, if you're a brother listening in right now and you feel like you want to make a big difference in Israel, start getting into circumcision. Learn how to do it. Right? Look up how to do it.
Khan, I'm not gonna put out a name or nothing, but one of the brothers in our camps just did it, and he's an older brother.
God, it ain't hoodie season no more, y'all.
Leave it to Chief to say that. Yeah, that's the thing, Shaw Paul, and that's the thing. The older cats, you know what I mean? Because a lot of our people in this world, for whatever reason, that wasn't done. It's actually discouraged by a lot of the doctors too. Amalek doctors at that when it comes to our women. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean. But there, that's the thing. The brothers was like, they knew the babies, but it's like, damn, brother, you gonna be circumcising men? And he's like, yeah, if needed, yeah. Brothers was like, oh man, that's a pause. But you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta, it's part of the culture. It's part of us. It's part of our laws. You know.
Gotta take the hoodie off, son.
God, if the angels do it in the wilderness, you really gonna be crying.
Yeah, I want to throw this out there too. When I was in the world, in essence, I was living with my cousin. Uh, we was roommates or what have you, and he was a pimp. And when you deal with just the mental, in essence, the mental distress and duress that them brothers be in, like when it came to one of our ox was talking about how righteousness ain't necessarily cool. It's like my cousin at that particular point couldn't hear nobody, in essence, trying to help him understand, the price that he was paying mentally, at that time. Now, I couldn't necessarily help him at the time because I was in the world myself. I wasn't into that, you know what I'm saying? But when it came to, like, dude was just paranoid all the time. He was paranoid about every man that he was around. He was even paranoid, you know what I mean, about me, in essence, when he would have his women around. Like, because, like, when our ox was talking about earlier, as far as they are always on alert because they always losing women right and left, to the point to where dude was so paranoid he pretty much lost his marbles. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a mental breakdown and he's been schizophrenic to a certain degree ever since. So we really got to press this line when it comes to this kind of issue because it's really mentally destroying our people. You know what I'm saying? And I be seeing or hearing my cousin, you see what I'm saying, having issues with the reality, you know what I mean, of how that world consumed him, even to this day.
Con, definitely right about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I dealt with some gorilla pimps, and they always on point because not only was people taking their women from them, but people would have killed them. Like, you know what I'm saying? First person I seen murdered was a pimp named Glasses, right? Somebody's husband shot that dude right in the face. You know what I'm saying? For pimping out his wife. A lot of gorilla pimps around my way. They used to beat on women. And remember, these are people, daughters, sisters, you know what I'm saying, cousins, mothers, girlfriends, whatever. These women, they fall victim to the pimping because is what they're attracted to, whether it's his looks, right? Whether it's his money, his gators, his diamond rings and gold, his car, whatever they could get attracted to, the smooth words. They was probably with a good man that was telling them the truth, like, yo, babe, I ain't even gonna lie, like, we ain't got it like this, but stick by my side and we gonna come up together. And she probably ran across a pimp like, man, fuck that nigga. I'm gonna give you the world, girl. You ain't have to hardly do nothing, right? you know. And she fell for the pimp, and all of a sudden she's out in the street working, and when she felt bad about it, he give her a quick jab to the ribs and like, bitch, shut up, go back out there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when people find these women in these predicaments, they're like, damn, what the hell happened to you, girl? I ain't see you in like a year. I've been over here and I can't get away from this dude. And all of a sudden, this gorilla pimp, he got enemies. So I've seen a lot of stuff like that. I've seen a lot of gorilla pimps, fall, by gunfire or end up locked up. And, they're always trying to stay 10 steps ahead because they got so many enemies. And that could give people a mental breakdown. I seen it give one dude a mental breakdown. This pimp by the name of Shorts. He had to spend 6 months in over there in Bellevue. So yeah, man, that lifestyle it comes with a lot of glamour and glitz, but it would definitely lead you into ruin.
They start to think that they pimp game ain't strong. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, your pimping ain't strong, son. So yeah, start mentally breaking somebody. They thought they had their women in check, and now they out of check, and somebody else got them in check. You know what I'm saying? So in their mind, they feel like they became the female dog to that pimp. You know what I'm saying? Your pimp ain't strong, so this pimp stronger than yours. So yeah, that's definitely a mental breakdown. And wickedness.
It's like, what sense does it make to gain the world but lose our soul? You know what I mean? That really came to my mind when I was just talking. Like, that's literally what it is.
It was a pimp. Now they became the assistant pimp. He got demoted, demoted in the left hand side of the spirit.
Cat, I seen it too. I seen a dude with like 10 women, and only thing it took to happen was that one light skinned real pretty one he had. She left him, and then uh, 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 three of his women left him for the same pimp the light skinned one left him for, and then the other ones just scattered abroad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I'm saying. He went from 10 women to 0 women in like I would say a little bit over a month. And he was down and out like, man, I gotta go out of town and get me another red bone, man. I don't know what to do with myself, yo. You got some more of that sour? I need like an ounce. So I seen it happen. This lifestyle is wicked, man, and it comes with its consequences. Brothers, if you still into that type of mentality, you know what I'm saying? If you catch yourself lusting after your sisters and, you just want to use them, like, you got to get out of it, man. That kind of lifestyle, that kind of mentality, it comes with serious, serious consequences, my brother. Serious consequences.
Yeah, and through it all is a competition. It's a wicked competition. The drug game is like that. The pimp game is like that. Shoot, even in Israel is like that. You know what I'm saying? They bring that shit from the world and they bring it into Israel, and then everybody's competing, secretly competing, or outright just straight up competing with the next camp or the next brother within the camp, and it just it becomes stupid. Like there's nothing wrong with friendly competition, but when you start competing secretly or you start competing openly where you just can't hide it no more, that's a spirit of covetousness. You start coveting what the next man has or what the next brother has, or the next sister, the next camp, and cats just be all in their feelings and in emotions and not knowing that pushes you more and more to hate your brother and more to hate your sister. That's why the drug dealers, they got, remember, Raekwon and Ghostface, they got garbage down the way. We got 2 for 5 over here, son. We got 2 for 5. You know what I'm saying? That secret competition or that competition, it always comes to you bad mouthing your brother and putting down your brother or your sister. Oh, they trash. He got the garbage holes down there. You know what I'm saying? Or here comes in Israel. Them niggas got the crazy doctrines over there. Yeah, their leader, he does this and he do that, and I don't believe him. And I don't even know if he's an Israelite. It'd be some of that. And even when it comes to the women, we had that done to us, and the woman went and followed this fool, and she no longer with us, but she went and followed this fool to, him bad mouthing brothers in the camp, and ended up R. Kellying on her, you know, and followed a dude that wasn't within our camp, and now she's, somewhere else. But keep that in mind, when that competition starts to come out, man, that be secret envy, that be secret covetousness, and eventually it be brought to light, and a lot of stuff, like I said, you can't even hide it because it's so evil, man. And brothers do certain things. You got a camp, the camp spot is there the whole time, then here comes another camp, and, instead of doing their own recon and finding out, go look for a different spot to teach on, you're going to teach right next to the camp that been there for years. What's the point of that, man? If that's not covetous, then what is? All the goddamn corners on the earth, but you want to teach on the same corner. That don't make no sense, man. That don't make no sense. That becomes a spirit of covetousness through secret competition, and it becomes envy, man, and eventually hatred and jealousy. So, stop with all the bullshit, Israel. Stop with it. We sometimes we worse than the pimps, because at least that's all they know. Nigga, you know the scriptures. You got to understand it. The scriptures tell you don't build on another man's foundation. The scriptures tell you about being covetous. The spirit tell you about envying, jealousy, lying, being deceptive, being deceitful. So keep that in mind, Israel, because that all comes with this pimp game, the drug game, and the left hand side of righteousness. Yeah.
Con. Somebody give me Proverbs 20 or 21. Because
Proverbs 21.
20 and 21, yeah, because people mention in the beginning things may look good, and these people that promoting this lifestyle in the beginning, but like Shaw Paul say, it's a short beginning. Okay, read that out.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 21. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning.
Hasty at the beginning. So see these guys, they beginners is all right. They getting the cars, they getting the women. You know what I mean? They looking good. They sharp. You know what I mean? In the beginning, read on.
But the end thereof shall not be blessed.
But they end, look at they end, and that pimp, it goes into the pimp, it goes into the drug dealer, it goes to anybody that in the, you know what I mean, is trying to get that quick fix, trying to get that hasty money. In the beginning, it looks all good, but look at them in the end. Look at them in the end. Look at, well, that's the wicked period. That's the wicked period. Look at how they end up in the end. The end ain't gonna be blessed, man. And the other scripture flips around and says, though the beginning be not blessed, the end shall be blessed. I think that's Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. I'm paraphrasing it. I think that's in the Bible, brother. See what Ecclesiastes 7 and 8 says in the scriptures. You know
Elder
what I mean?
Terrell. Elder Terrell.
Yeah.
50 Cent voice. In high school, you was the man, homie. What the hell happened to you?
Right. Exactly. You know? Exactly. Exactly.
Elder, it says, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
Right. So that's the flip side of that. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning of it. See, that's what comes with the righteous. Better is the end. The righteous gonna in the end, they're gonna inherit the earth. But the beginning is hard sometimes. That's why the book of Revelations, he told John the Baptist. He said, this is bitter. Take this book. This is bitter. But then it should be like honey. It should be sweet. But in the beginning, it's hard because you're seeing what the state of where your people came from and everything that happened to your people, where they at now. How has the Holy Vine become a generation of degenerates? So you see the state, and it's hard to see the state. That's why the scriptures say knowledge increase sorrows. But the end is going to be blessed. That's what we got to keep focus on. So yeah, the pimps and the drug dealers, they blessed in the beginning. They looking good, like Chief said. You was the man, but look at their end. And I've seen a lot of their ends because I've lived and seen a lot of these guys that's talked about now in Fed magazines and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That I happen to grow up with some of them, and I've seen they end. They ain't blessed. They either locked up or in jail. With that, I yield. I think Shia wanted to say something. He came back.
Well, I can't. I'm busy right now, but I'll come back. Come back in.
Uh, Shaw Paul. Macabre
We got
came in.
Macabre. Yeah, Macabre in the building. We got Macabre in the building. Shalom.
Shalom, Yahweh Shabbat. Oh yeah, man. Just to let me back on the situation. I mean, we all come up, in the hood where somebody was out there getting it all the women and everything. You know what I'm saying? Looking fly. We all aspired to be that. I know when I came up, we were poor. My mother was a single mother. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have the gear that was desirable. So guess what? I ended up, selling nickels and dimes from sunshine to rain. You know what I mean? All praise to the Most High. I got up out of that, but I did accept at that point that this game. I accepted that it was death or jail. Actually, jail was like some type of form of manhood. You know, in most neighborhoods. It's like, damn, you ain't get locked up. You know what I'm saying? People look at you differently. You wanted a rep. All of that. But yeah, man, that was a dangerous trap, man. To sit up here and destroy your neighborhood. That's why I go so hard, or we go so hard. A lot of us in this truth. In the beginning, it's not how you start; it's how you finish. Like that scripture says. But yeah, it's a horrible thing, man. You end up, you come out with the fancy cars, the women, everything, and you end up dead or in jail, man. I just all praise to the Most High. I didn't know. end up dead because I sure accepted it, But yeah, that's to let me back off of y'all what I'm hearing. Man. So that's it. So
Salakia, do that link up top, man, just so you can implement something in these children, man. That's the Hebrew alphabet is in flashcards, and that's how my son is learning pretty well. So we're trying to move that around in the nation. That's just temporary. I'm putting it up there for, start implementing these things in your children, man. Keep them busy, so they mind don't wander off. Their mind don't wander off into folly and nonsense. Always have something on the TV that they can learn from. You know, try to keep the ABCs, the one, two, threes, keep their mind occupied that they may love to learn instead of just watching, these stupid cartoons all day, and it keeps them dumbed out. You know, it keeps them focused on the wrong things. They got to keep their mind occupied on learning because they children, man, they soaking up everything as sponges. So if you keep their mind occupied in learning, you will advance your children, and that's what we have to do in this new age of so many distractions. So keep that in mind, Israel. I just wanted to throw that up there, man. Keep them away from watching, you know, uh, uh, you know, the damn pimp movies, the menace to society, the boys in the hood, because that's what we was raised on, man. We was raised on all of that. And our minds became adapted to that, thinking that that was the norm or thinking that that was the cool thing to do. You know, make them cool to be, show them it's cool to be smart, man. It's cool to have a bigger reading grade. Teaching them how to read on a higher level than their grade that they're in. Teaching them things that they will adapt and need later on in the future. Teach them Spanish, man. A lot of you Southern Kingdoms, man, teach your children Spanish. They're gonna need it. If we still here, it's good to have different languages, to be bilingual. You know, different things that you could keep the children mind occupied so they won't think that it's cool to be pimps, mumble rappers, Cardi B, etc., man. Keep their minds occupied. Yeah.
Con, that's a great point. You know, speaking of the pimps and everything, when the civil rights movement that came out, there was uh, a sense of pride that was going on, and they say actually it was the pride of dropouts, high school dropouts, and everything, and they're the ones who rose up and everything, but to kind of settle them down and everything was many things that they did, but they kind of settled them down with Superfly, the movies, the black exploitation movies and everything. Black Man Badass Pimp and Superfly and Bad as Hell Sniffing Coke and all of that and Dressing Fly. You understand? And then obviously you fast forward to the '90s. When it was
So the Mac, brother. You gotta put the Mac
yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
yeah. Who's the Mac? The Mac. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to emulate all of that. And then you fast forward to the '90s or the '80s. You had brothers and sisters kind of um, getting a sense of pride, even though it wasn't the Israelite pride, but it was a sense of blackness, coming up. And brothers were studying and everything and going to more colleges and all of that. And then what happened? I know a lot of my brothers and sisters don't like to hear it from Cali, but they started to bring in the gangster music and all of that. And now our sisters are bitches and hoes instead of queens. And you know, you all of that, you know, they use those things to program us. And I watched it because I remember one of my brothers pointed out to me, he was like, look at what's going on around you. And we driving through North. And all I see is a bunch of brothers with what are those rags called with that the gangs? I forget the name of them right now. I just woke up, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. The shit that they have hanging out their pocket, they
Right.
flags, right? So that wasn't a thing here in Jersey at all. You know, we had our own thing. Brothers had their own thing going on. We was about money and you had your other crews and it was block wars and all of that going on. It was a murder rate. We was foul, but you know, we had our East Coast foulness or whatever, for the lack of better term. But you turned around and you started to see them even before they picked up the rags that they were wearing and emulating the West Coast. Then it was inevitable after that one side of town, which was down the hill in my case, Naughty by Nature and them kind of linked up with Inglewood and Queen Street, and they picked that flag up. And then next thing you know, the natural enemies, which is up the hill, ended picking up that blue rag. You understand? But you can see the influence of the music. You understand? We already had a murder rate now. We on top of each other, so you got half the project fighting the other half. You understand? And they fighting in the middle of the courtyard where the kids play. You understand? So they use that the influence of the music and the black exploitation films and everything. It's the same plan, you know, to keep us from getting into our pride and understanding who we are as a people. And that's why they come at us so hard. Like,
They say Elder McCobb had the platforms with the goldfish in
yeah,
it. God. Yeah, it's the crazy influences that these nations have against our people, man. You know, like I said, Israel. I was gonna have this room open for a minute. I was gonna open a Passover room. About brothers shouldn't be cheap for the Passover, so I'm gonna do that in a second. But for right now, I'll open up the floor. Anybody got any questions, comments, Bible verses? You know what I'm saying? Uh, the floor is open, man. You want to enter discussion, something on your mind from the brothers and sisters, because the sisters can come up too and say what's on your mind. You know what I'm saying? And y'all click on that link, man. See what's up. Cause I'm gonna get me an order of that too. I got a 2-year-old son. He turning 3, April the 26th. So definitely gonna get him on that Hebrew and Spanish, and what I'm saying, most high willing. You know, he definitely gonna know the English and patois. So but definitely gotta get him on that Hebrew and Spanish and make him bilingual. You know what I'm saying? Because that type of thing our people are gonna need to have, man. Especially when we interacting with each other. There's a lot of camps. Let me say this right now. There's a lot of camps here in Africa, but I don't see as much camps here in South America. So yeah, get up on that Spanish, my people. Kwame Asharala.
comments, right?
God, and I was also thinking about what our elder was talking about as far as like the secret competition thing. You know what I mean, and how counterproductive that is. In this life, we supposed to just be focusing on keeping the commandments and nothing else. As far as like on no weird like trying to compete with people and all that old stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was thinking about an example of what I seen in my city coming up. It was a dude that was a drug dealer, and then there was another guy that was an entrepreneur in essence. And for whatever reason, they was competing with each other like super hard to the point to where anything that the drug dealer bought, the entrepreneur, he would show that he had, the money in essence to buy the same things. And anything that the entrepreneur bought, the drug dealer in essence would go buy the same thing, like to the point to where one of them bought a Hummer and then the other one bought a Hummer in the same color. One of them put 30s on their Hummer, then the other one put 30s on their Hummer. So they were just basically going back and forth, tit for tat, to the point to where the drug dealer, you see, he had a heart attack and died. You know what I'm saying? And that unnecessary competition. I mean, all that stuff in that world, it's really mentally taxing. Anybody competing with anybody, you know what I'm saying, unnecessarily is definitely out. And we going off when it comes to that.
Con. Con. I got a question, brothers.
Ask your question.
My bad. I just got quiet. I didn't know what happened. So, I got court in a few weeks, man, and I'm kind of, in a way, I'm a little worried, but then I'm not, because I'm just keeping the faith in the Most High. Um, I know actions without, like, what is it? Faith without actions is no works. Um, I'm just a little worried. Should I be worried, or just keep the faith with the Most High and know that He'll keep me straight?
Hey, Salaki, I can repeat that one more time.
Okay, so I got court in a few weeks, and it's not really been on my mind because the Lord says don't think the way of the heathens. Like He knows what you need today. Um, I don't know exactly how to really explain it. So, like I said, I really just been putting my faith in the Most High, and I'm not really worried about court. But I guess since it's coming down to it, now I'm thinking about it. Should I just leave it to the Most High, or obviously I know I got to do something about it?
Well, brother, like at the end of the day, all judgment is really judgment from the Most High, anyway, King. So you definitely should pray about it and leave it up to the Most High. If you feel something that you're worried about it, fast and fast about it. You know what I'm saying, and the Most High show you favor. If it be His will.
Con.
Yeah, I definitely remember those court days with the Brooklyn Tabernacles, man. Court is a nothing but a waste of time and witchcraft, and Esau way to try to wear down the saints, man. I used to get bored in the courtroom and fall asleep, man. I used to hate court. I definitely hated court.
Yeah, I know that feeling, man. It's just wicked in there because it's like they judging you like if they God or something.
Yeah, they trying to judge us knowing they more wicked than us on any given day. But yeah, King, like I said, if you just, if something got you worrying about it, just pray and fast about it, King. You'll be alright.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, like I said, y'all, I'm closing out this kosher breakfast a little early today. I'm gonna open up a little bit later with another room about the Passover. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody else got anything to say it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shut down this room in a little bit. Kwame Yasharala.
Kwame Yashua.
Alright, Habata Yasharala. Barakatha Yasharala. Make sure y'all click the link. You know what I'm saying? Support Israelite business, especially if you have children around you, right? Even if you have grown children, get to know the Hebrew is important for them too, right? Kwam Yasha'Allah, we still got next. Habata Yasha'Allah, Barakatha Yasha'Allah, Kwam Yasha'Allah. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Kwame Yasharala.